Good morning, good afternoon, good evening, wherever you are in the world. My name is Jade, and this is How to App on iOS. And today it is the Creator Interview Rewind number 2. And my very special guest is, of course, Thomas Christ. Today's show is sponsored by DistroKid. Of course, we're going to get in and play a song by Thomas Christ. This is called Death Toll.
And there's nothing to believe in. Mind open wide, but it's just letting the disease in. Picked up a stone in the self-selecting symbol draw. How do you plea on violating scientific law? Your bond matured, it's worth its full value of nothing. The ink is hatch reveals the plea that you're becoming. I'll be the dagger in the rock decomposition. The time is now to terminate the last transmission.
welcome to the show. That was Thomas Christ and Death Toll to kick off the show. Is everybody awake now? I am. Or actually, I was awake about 15 minutes ago. Thomas woke me up. Good. I could see him laughing in the background. We'll tell you more about that in a minute. How you all going? You going good? Yeah, it's the end of the week for me. It's Friday. Well, it's not the end of the week because tomorrow I've still got more work to do. YouTuber. Good to see so many wonderful people here. Lovely, familiar faces. So this is the, what do we call this thing? The Creator Interview Rewind number 2, where we take somebody who I've interviewed way back when in the annals of time, and we bring them back to find out exactly what has been happening in their lives since we had them on all those eons and centuries ago. It seems like it was centuries ago. It's actually, I think, episode 140 that Thomas was on here. So it was actually season 3. So it wasn't, I assumed it was like episode number 5 or something, but Mandela effect maybe. Yeah. Maybe not. I'm talking nonsense now, aren't I? Today's show is sponsored by our friends at DistroKid. Yes, the annals of time. You love it, Coldacre. Don't lie. Come on. Today's show is sponsored by DistroKid, of course, and let me get my things together. What have I done here? I've got things all over the place. Let's go over here. So, DistroKid. You can get your music out through DistroKid. Did you know that? Where's the right thing? There's the window. I'm over here. Look, I'm over here, down in the corner, like where Leela put me. DistroKid thankfully sponsors this show. They've been sponsoring this show for a long time now, and I'm very thankful to have DistroKid on board. You can release your music through DistroKid at a very, very low price, as you can see over there right on the far corner, for $22.99 billed annually to you, and you can release unlimited stuff and things, unlimited songs, albums, EPs, whatever you want to call it. It's up to you. These days, you get unlimited lyrics, Spotify checkmark, create your own royalty split, so share with other people who you do collaborations with. You get access to 21 free tools, and those tools just keep on growing faster than John Holmes. Music mobile app access, which is free to download on Android or iOS, and you can sync your lyrics to Apple Music just so people can sing along with you. And I think what it does too is the karaoke thing as well with that as well. So that's pretty cool. But there are 3 tiers you can sign up for with DistroKid. There's the Musicians Plus, where you get 2 artists instead of 1. And the ultimate one, you get 5 artists. And that's the one I use because I am a greedy little slug. I didn't expect to say that. But if you sign up using my code that's over there in the other corner, right over there, and it's in the description and all that stuff. And Thomas, don't put the link in. You're not working today. I see you heading for the keyboard. I see you over there. I've got my eye on you. Thomas, leave the keyboard alone. Right, so the link is distrokid.com/VIP/Jade Starr, and you'll get 7% off your first year. As I always say, thank you, DistroKid, for sponsoring the show because, of course, I've got to do it. Oh, my thing. I love you, DistroKid. There we go. All right. Was that too personal, DistroKid? I'm sorry. I'll back off. If you want to see other people, I'll relax. Anyway, thanks for being here. So you guys know who I've got on the show, right? He's been supporting this channel from absolutely day one. He's here, wind, rain, or snow. And I think out of all the times he's probably missed being here on my live stream, it's probably like 11. It's like, if that, you know, and they're always, every reason he's not been here has been like, for reasons that, you know, geez, take more time. Don't be here. Don't waste your time with me. He's a workaholic. He's a songaholic. He's got 2,875 albums to date on BandCamp and growing at 3 albums a minute. He's the host of You Rock, where he plays your most rockin' music. See, I'm stealing his catchphrases. And he is a live performer on his weekend performance, Thomas Christ Live. Without further ado, let's get him in here because he's bloody awesome. And hopefully all the sound's working. Where are we? Get it in? Yeah, let's go. Cheers. Thomas Christ.
Hey, what's up?
Oh, man.
How's it going?
Well,
We got here.
we got here. Now, what we got to do today is I've got to try not to talk over you because, so what happened, folks, I use Zoom to do the interviews because OBS is not interview friendly. And Thomas's Zoom would not recognize his interface. But he's had to go onto the browser to get it to work, and here he is. But if I talk over the top of him now, it kind of cuts his sound down. It's weird. How you going, Thomas?
Dude, I'm doing better now. Now that we got everything working. So
Yeah, I said to you before the show, I was sitting there trying to be calm myself, going, yep, just be calm because I know Thomas will be.
yeah, throwing things, cursing, swearing, pulling my hair out.
Let's start there. Thomas, do you get wound up very easy when technology doesn't work?
You know what? See, it works most of the time, but the thing is, and this is the thing with Mac. If anybody that's a Mac user knows, like most of the time, everything works great and it's fantastic and it's wonderful. And then there's these times, usually the most important times when you have things that are really pressing, and it just decides like, no, I'm not going to do that today. And you're like, why are you not going to do that? I don't know, but I'm not doing it. And you're like, just do the thing.
It is a phenomenon. Mr. Smith was talking about it on his stream the other day. There's been a couple of people talking about this. And I know for streamers here, you know, every time before you go and do a stream, you haven't changed any settings, no matter what it is, StreamYard, Restream, OBS. Look, a Falcro's here. Falcro will tell you he actually had to go and stream on Marshall's channel yesterday just to get his stream to work.
Oh, man.
the technology goblins are assholes.
They are. And they don't, they pick the most opportune times to strike.
Yeah, they don't discriminate either. So, all right. Hellos. I'm going to do the hellos. We'll do the hellos. Oh, geez, we're almost 21 minutes in. So we'll do the hellos after the second song. So thank you all for being here. I can see all your beautiful names glistening in the sunshine, shining away. And we love you lots over there or over there, wherever the chat is. I don't know. But let me hit you with the first question of the rewind questions.
All right.
Thomas, if I was your CEO right now and you were in an elevator and on your lunch break minding your own fucking business and I rolled into the elevator being a snooty, rich prick, what would be your elevator pitch to tell me about Thomas Christ?
Well, you see, we have we've looked at the fourth quarter data and we found out that your most rockin' music, see, and if you ask all the experts in the industry, they all agree that your most rockin' music needs to be heard, and so we've reached out to some of our most influential donors and so forth, and they're all on board, and they all want to see a channel called Thomas Christ that does a show called You Rock and plays your music, and then on the weekends doing a show where you also perform live and do songs that are ostensibly quite provocative. And
sorry, what was your name again?
My name is
in a more easier way, how would you describe what you do?
So what I do is I just I guess I have to go and kind of how I came about starting on YouTube, and it was just the thing that I saw Jade doing it, and I saw Pete doing it, and Jade actually did a live performance before How to App on iOS even existed, and she was doing like heavier songs and stuff, and I was like, I think I could do that, and let's I downloaded OBS, played around with it. I did a live stream for my wife, and it worked.
Guinea pig.
and so that's how Thomas Christ Live got started. I was green on the first episode because I thought that would look cool. It didn't look that cool, actually. And then later on, I saw people like, Pete and Metalhead Hippie and so forth starting on doing play your music shows. And I was like, there could be a space for something that does that. And maybe kind of like, because I really liked what Pete did, but maybe a little bit of a longer form like Hippie does, and with playing the whole songs and everything. So that's kind of how I got into You Rock, and Russ 8889, of course. Got my Delicate Giants trip on today.
Represent.
But he was talking to me in Clubhouse, and he was like, yeah, you should go and do this. And my only regret was I wish I had done it when we first talked about it, because that was like in spring of 2021. It wasn't until September of 2021 that I started, and already like the pandemic was starting to wane, and I think I probably would have picked up more people if I had started earlier. But other than that, it's been a blast.
It sure has been. So, and like to watch you come along and grow and see. So we're all growing every day. If you're not growing, you may as well be dead. Is my motto. And if you're feeling dead today, have a Barocca. You'll be fine tomorrow. Tomorrow's always another day. But yeah, you're right. When I started doing this, I did I played music. I tried it. I'd been doing it on Facebook. And Facebook, when you do a live stream on Facebook, that's like doing your first gig at a venue. There's nobody there. it's a shithole. But you came across now. All right, now that you've done your pitch, I need to do my pitch about how I came across you, which most people already know anyway, because I did a special on you on my Walk With Me recently, and I came across you over at Pete's show. Modding, and I used to think I was the mod with it all. I seriously did. I thought nobody could touch my shit. And that was back in the day where I used to mod on like wrestling channels. I modded on a channel called Wrestle Talk. And you haven't lived until you've modded on a channel that is watching along a WWE pay-per-view that has 5,500 people in the chat. And guess what, Thomas? You don't want to mod in that situation. It's the worst ever. Because there's just so much horrible stuff. But you came in there and Pete made you a mod because, he still doesn't have many mods over there, Pete. He's very conservative. And you just took over for me when I started my show, and I could just like not do anything. Now I'm the laziest mod in the world.
Well, I saw what you were doing. And I asked, how are you doing this? Because I saw Pete asked me to be a mod. I'd never been a mod on YouTube before. I was like, I don't know what this is about. But I saw you're just like wiping these links, boom, 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 links, link. And how the hell is she doing that? And like, is she got a document? Is she copying it? And then you told me about the shortcuts.
Yeah.
And I was like, aha. And then I made the shortcuts, and then kind of the rest was history after that. Now I've got 25. I don't even remember all of them.
It's crazy, isn't it? And sometimes you got to write an email to somebody, and there's 2 letters that are those shortcuts, and up comes a link to Pete John's Studio Live today, and you're like, I didn't want to put that in a fucking email. What's going on?
Yeah. You try to make it things that you don't think, like, I'll never type that combination of letters until you do, and you're like, oh, wait, no, actually I will.
So, now I've noticed, and you came over here day one when I kicked off, which, I'm incredibly thankful for. I even spoke to you lately, and because I noticed you'd taken a week off, and I was like, I noticed when you're not there, and it's not because of the links. It's not that at all. I don't expect anything like that from my mods, unless I do ask. And that's I'm like, I rarely ask you to put links in, but I miss you when you're not around. Because you're furniture. Well, you're nice furniture, not occasional furniture. What am I talking about? No, I really do miss you when you're not there. So you are a part of the fabric of my channel. When I see you're not there, I just go, I feel naked. I feel like I'm sitting here and totally naked in front of everybody because my right-hand man ain't around. So I want to, off the bat, thank you personally while you're right in front of me or like over there on the screen. and thank you for all the help that you give me and all the help that you give others, man. It is just incredible how you are able to sit there on You Rock every song and come up with something really positive and nice to say.
Well, thank you.
It's a talent.
Well, no, the thing is that I've been really fortunate in that front that I don't really get too many songs where I think, man, I don't have much good to say about it. I'm usually blown away by how good all the songs are. I like that people want me to play my song at the end, and I feel like, I'm supposed to follow all this? Like, these guys are so good, and it gets better every week, and I'm just kind of amazed by it.
Well, it's funny you say that because I think I said in one of the walking videos, forget who, I think it was Leela. When I was talking about Leela, she was one of these people who I look at, and when I was at school, you know how when you're at school and you want to be cool, and there's always this one asshole or this that somehow just naturally doesn't do anything, but they always look cool.
Yeah.
Right. Some of the stuff you do I think Leela's like that too. Right. Now, don't get a big head, Leela. Relax. All right. No, but I think that too. I watch your your show, and all the little touches you do on your show over time. I sit there and go, fuck, I really should do something like that. Why don't I do something? Why don't I create an interesting intro like that you have for You Rock? That's hilarious. So I do look, and then I sit down and go, you know what? I think it's because I'm turning into Pete, and I'm just getting too lazy.
Well, if you notice, I've had that same intro running for a pretty long time. I've actually been thinking for a while, like, I need to update that and make it really like edgy. I think that the whole thing of like it's an 80s sitcom and like Full House and Family Matters, I think that's run its course, and I think it needs to be a lot edgier and darker than what it is.
I don't know. I still think it's hilarious. Every time I see it, I laugh my ass off every time. It's so good. It is that Family Matters thing, and it gives me giggles, because I think why it works, like comedy's an amazing thing. The best comedy is the opposite. And because you are so alternative and edgy and stuff like that, that being Family Matters, that's why it works. That's the gag, I think.
Yeah, well, I mean, and I came out of the 90s soup of everything was like that. It was always like tongue in cheek. It was always like doing the opposite thing just for a laugh, and there was so much of that kind of humor. I grew up on like Kids in the Hall and stuff like that, and I think that just permeates me and everything that I do. I don't think I've ever graduated from the 90s, to be perfectly honest.
FPC says, no way can you change that intro, not unless it's Laverne and Shirley, but with you and Amelia. Amelia, can you hear that? If she's downstairs, I don't know if she's watching today. She's normally somewhere around. All right, let's stay on the subject of You Rock, because the basic subject of today, when I first had you on the show, we talked about, how you started playing music as a kid and all that kind of stuff. So if you want to go back and watch that, that's what that show's there for. It's episode 140. Go seek it out on the channel. But we want to find out, what's going on. That's what we're talking about today. It is going to be a very loose conversation. That's what she said. And I want to talk, while we're on You Rock, let's talk about the evolution of it, because I've told this story many times. Pete Johns, my friend Peter, if Peter's here, hello, Pete. He messages me one day on Messenger and goes, g'day, Cobber. And he doesn't comment. I just always use the word Cobber when I'm impersonating Pete. I'm thinking about doing a show where I play people's music. And I go, well, that's insane, because, you're never going to ever be able to you're never going to stop that, because musicians are narcissists and they love hearing their music played, and that's going to be your number one show. And and here we are.
Well, when he started that, it wasn't even going to be like what it is now.
No.
It was just supposed to be like, I'm showing you how to do GarageBand stuff all week. And at the end of the week, because it used to be on Fridays originally. Friday's my time. It was just supposed to be like, okay, let's show like a couple of minutes of what you guys have been doing with GarageBand. That's kind of like what it was. It was kind of like that. It was kind of like a mini song timbre kind of thing. But
Yep.
um, and it was only supposed to be a one-off thing, and then it was like it just turned into
No.
every week.
And now, there's a new channel every day popping up playing people's music, which is, we have such an amazing community that does these kind of shows. So what made you get into it? What was the defining thing, and how did you have to go through to prepare and set? What's the kind of setup that you have, and how much work does it take out of your week to do this kind of thing?
Oh my goodness. Well, I'm constantly trying to find ways to. It started off as a very simple thing. Like I just basically did exactly what Pete was doing. He had a Google form. So I made a Google form with basically like the same kind of questions. And over time, the thing is, like, we've diverged a little bit because I've refined it. Most recently, I put on a question because I messed up once, and I accidentally said somebody was from Australia and they were from California. And I was like, well, I need something on there to say like where they're from. So, but up until very recently, I was copying and pasting every single response from that form over into a spreadsheet. I'm working with spreadsheets. It's like I'm at work. Like my job that I do during the day, like, is working with spreadsheets, and then I do the show, and I'm working with spreadsheets. But I have found like Google, the Google Sheets that's in the back end. Now I can duplicate that and kind of select the ones that I want to have on the show and cut out the columns that I don't need, and that makes it a little bit easier. But it's any little like efficiency that I can find like that, like I'm gonna go for it.
That stuff's really important, isn't it? Like finding shortcuts. When I buy gear, like I used to buy gear because I wanted the gears. I wanted all the gears. And now when I look at buying a gears, when did that term become cool to call things gears? Anyway, I'm getting off track. When I buy something these days, the most important thing that I want from a piece of hardware or even software is time. Can it slice 5 minutes or 10 minutes off a process that I do? And I've had some people say to me that's idiotic because that's just time. Like, you can work a little bit. It's like, no, you don't understand. Time is very valuable. And having when you have so many processes to put something together each week, you want to get into a rhythm of nail. And if you can just slice that 5 minutes off, that's 5 minutes you can get to bed earlier. And boy, some nights I would kill for an extra 5 minutes just to get earlier. Are you having, like, since doing it, like, I don't think a lot of people understand, like, the back end of it. Like,
yeah.
So how much time would you say you put in for a show like You Rock a week preparing for it?
Well, I think it depends. Now I do a special show now that I have the Solid Gold Rocker program, and it's really just like a way of honoring the people that donate to my channel, either on PayPal or on Patreon. Those shows take a little bit more time to put together because I got to come up with a list and make sure that I'm right and don't leave anybody off. I got and make sure that everybody's represented in that. Now the other shows, it is a little bit easier. I think with my new process that I've got, I've shaved it down maybe from 4 hours to like 2.5, 3. So
right.
I'd say it's in that ballpark.
And on that show too, I honestly don't know how you do it, and how, like, we've got Chad here as well, and how Hippie does it, and how Clay does it, and to a lesser extent, Falcro, who does his show as well. I mean, there's so many cool people who are playing music. And when I did it for the charity album, by the third hour, and you could see it, I was going la. I was losing my shit. I started to like the really childish poo-poo humor. I was turning into Rhett pretty much in front of everybody. And I couldn't stop. Like, the lunacy took over. I just don't know how. Like, as soon as I finished this show, or even just a 2-hour show, I have to get out of this studio, turn off all the lights, and just get out of here and walk away from the screen. I can't be like this is it's crazy. Do you have coping mechanisms? And do you have do you get a sore ass?
No, well, I used to, but I got this chair.
Yeah.
And this chair is really freaking comfortable. I can and do sit in this chair all day, but no, I know what you're saying about going, because I was experiencing that last night. My show went almost 6 hours, and I think by about the 5th hour I was starting to get like, and I was really tired. I was running on 3 hours sleep before going to work all day. Work's been crazy because it's a busy time of year for my line of work right now, and then and then doing the show, and it was getting to be like, all right, I could see the bottom of the list now. That's good. But yeah, it does, and I worry that, like, am I going to give everybody a fair hearing that, like, is at the end of the list? Because I know at the end of the list it's just kind of like, all right, let's good song, good stuff, go to the website, subscribe. I try not to do that, but it it's just human nature, I think. You see that end in sight. It's like it's coming.
Go. Yeah. I was doing that when I was doing the Music for Life thing. I could see the songs ahead, and I was like, I nearly jumped songs because of it. But I think that was my brain going, let's go, let's get to the end. But that was a rough time too, because I was doing the walking stuff, and that was killing me. That was putting me in an early grave. And see, folks, the hard-hitting questions on here, you get to find out if Thomas gets a sore bum. Yeah. That's what you've grown to expect from him.
People are up late at night, I think, pondering that one.
Well, ponder no more, folks.
Yeah.
He's there going, I wonder how Thomas's ass is going tonight. Just look at the chair in the background and be happy. What else was I going to ask? There's something else I was going to ask about. You rock. All right. So putting in the comments, like when Pete first started YML, he was more like he would give a critique at the end and say, oh, perhaps you could like work on a little bit of this. And I understand why he doesn't do that anymore, because, he's been doing it for a while, and people are getting better and better and better and better, and there's less critique needing to be made. So how do you it's a hard thing, because I wouldn't be able to sit there, because look, let's not shit around. Not every song is a gold mine, they just aren't. We're talking about the whole music industry, big artists. Metallica, look at them. They released a fucking stinker of an album called Saint Anger. Not all songs are great. So, what goes through your brain if there's one that you just like, oh, man, I'd rather be getting an enema with gasoline right now. But you have to come up and say something nice. What is your methodology to get around that?
I just think find whatever little thing that you can find in the song that's positive, that at least that person could build on. At least they could say, maybe the overall like arrangement of the song isn't so hot, but like the guitar tone is really good. So I'll just focus on that and not really comment on the other stuff so much.
Yeah, and as Chad says here, not all of us like everything, and that's the thing too. But look, that's been I think as a musician, I'd like to get your opinion on this, because we both came from very similar backgrounds. We're very angsty, release music that's like this, and a lot of shock tactics with our stuff. For God's sake, Thomas Christ, and you go back and watch the previous interview. You perform or you manage a church music and stuff, and it's like, and on the basically you leave like Superman, and here you are as Thomas Christ. So, but as a musician, I think it's a good thing to open up and try and listen to other styles of music. When I was young, Thomas, I used to just, if it wasn't metal, it was like, that was shit. I'm not listening to that shit. That's crap. Pop music's crap. And I saw all my other metalhead friends who are exactly the same, and some of them are still like that now. And I think, you poor Neanderthal, you've like cut off so much music from your own abilities that you haven't been able to integrate that stuff into the metal that you play. So you sound very boring. Has that been a thing for you to integrate different styles so you're able to, critique easier?
Well, I think initially when I started the show, the idea that was in my head was we're gonna call it You Rock, and it's gonna be metal, and it's gonna be industrial music and edgy electronic music. And then I quickly realized, like, if I do that, that there's not gonna be much on the show, and some weeks there might not be anything. And also I'm gonna be leaving out people that I just can't leave out. And the decision was made early on that and I think really it was Joe and Barry Glenn who were the inspiration for it, because they said, and they make amazing folk music, how great their music is.
Yeah, totally.
And they said to me, they're like, oh, I guess we're left out. And I was like, no. I want you to send your tracks in. And so that's kind of how it became. And now I look, and the diversity is crazy on the show. Probably the one genre that's underrepresented is rap music. I wish we had a little bit more in the way of hip hop, but we do have some. But I mean, we have country, we've got metal, we've got rock of all different genres and descriptions. We got electronic music, we got ambient music. It's all, it's all pretty much represented.
I remember in the days, you'll remember this too, back in the early days of YML, Pete, would put out there on his show, I'm willing to play stuff that's a little bit edgy and have some swears in it and stuff, but don't go over the top. And whenever a rap song would come up, and he'd play it, and it'd be like, motherfucker, fuck you, fucker. And Pete, and you just see Pete in the corner just like, they were my favorite moments, because the song before, Pete would be bopping his head away, and then the next song's like, fucking, I'll kill your mother.
And meanwhile, I'm sitting there in the chat. I'm like, hey, send that my way.
Yeah, absolutely. Let's play a song and we'll come back, keep talking with Thomas, and we'll say hello to all you wonderful souls here. Hang on, we do have a question by Audible Video. Of course, he's got to ask this. Does anyone at Thomas's church know about your alter ego?
No.
What do you think would happen if they found out?
I don't know. I don't hope not to find out.
What if they love it?
Oh, maybe they would. I don't know. I kind of doubt it, but
let's play a song. This is Breach of Insecurity. It's a rad song. I'm going to load it up, get it all done, try and sound professional as Thomas and have it all ready without a spreadsheet or anything like that. Let's. Are you ready? Breach of Security.
Driving fast through the infinity trees without a compass can be a promise. With hope in your heart and trust in your backbone, will this be the grail or another black boulder? Don't wish for a spark, don't wish for a spark that burns it all in the end. With wings of wax, you're far from the angel. The cash that you saved only pays for your grave. Going down and I start to drown in this breach of my insecurity. Reckless spiraling, damn this my watching the trees as they all pass me by. A wildfire burns in a daydream, rooted in sand as the seconds advance. A child laughs and cries all the same. It's fading away. What else can you say? It all was in vain. Darkness hides the stain. Stashed it all in a hollow stone, God-full and invisible. Broken the only rule. There's no jury left to hang. It's still calling. Hellhounds howling. Mind can't fathom. Bombs like atoms. Sliced and severed. Feeling never expands and contracts. This attack. Breach of insecurity. Total destruction. Beast and famine. Breach of insecurity. Running red. Loud like cannon.
Jesus Christ. Thomas, they love you. Them, the people, the invisible crowd.
The imaginary crowd.
I know, I love it. You know, sometimes I sit here at night and I just play that, and I sit here and I look back at my green screen and go, thank you, thank you. Because I'm an idiot. That's what I do. What a wicked song. And another fantastic song. And we're going to talk about the evolution. We get a lot of evolution questions today. I want to thank everyone for being here. Let's do the hellos. Let's get them out the way now. Hello, Mr. Smith. Oh, I've got to do it, don't I? There you go. You got your tongue. We've got Joe Barry Glenn. Folks, type something in the chat so I can find your name so you can get a shout out if you really need one. Doug Kidder's here. Andy, Alex Bacchus, Rise of Dark Leela. She's got to go soon, apparently. Robbie Stingle, Chad Freeman, Jenny Jolivet, Chris Lane Sr., Greg Hudo. We got Hugh Caldwell, SM Baltic, Buongiorno, Scott, Fat Panda Cat. Barry Glenn's here as well. We got the Lily Pillies. Manny's here. Are you back from overseas, Manny, with your busted foot? Tremor Bear, the Falcrow. Now I'm going to start calling everybody the Syephan is here. The Chris Lane Sr., the Pookie Ann is here. The Mateus Prakowski is here as well. The Pete Johns was here earlier. You're all getting a the now. I really should do that every episode. I forget. Falcrow's inspired me to the everyone up. It's like
Everybody needs a the.
it's the future. It's just like The Rock. You know, you gotta have a the. You gotta be a third person, whatever that means. God,
like those bands from the '60s. Everything was the animals, the turtles, the this, the that.
Man, simpler days. Why doesn't anybody call themselves the migrating insect? Like, why not? Now it's all like angst and Cold Ache is here. The Cold Acre, good cop, bad cop. You're the nice cop. Oh, I don't think so. Steve-O, hello. No, you rock. I get, haha. And Thomas rocks too, and you paint rocks, Steve-O. There you go. Kubrick Lover, what's going on as well? Audible Video, Gregory O'Sullivan, something, something, something. Thank you all for being here. We're up to 50 people before. All right, it's dropped off now because I'm talking a load of bollocks. That's why. That's what happens when I open my mouth. Let's talk about TC Live, Thomas Christ Live, because the evolution of Thomas Christ Live. Was it episode 100 where you had that clip of all the performances of you of doing Thomas Christ Live?
Yeah, I think it was either that one or maybe it was 50.
All right.
I can't remember now.
I'm going to look it up. So tell us, what inspired you? Oh, you mentioned that, you saw me doing it, but how has the evolution of that changed? Because I can go on forever what I see, and I will afterwards. But how's that been starting out to getting different gear and adding new songs and keeping it consistent and material? How's that been for you?
Well, I started. So initially, it was literally just like I didn't even have the Mac Mini yet. I was using like an old MacBook Pro that my wife had just like sitting around for some reason. And it wasn't even, it was too old to even upgrade to whatever the current iOS or Mac OS was at the time. So I was literally just using that, running everything through Logic. No effects. I mean, there were effects on the vocals, but I couldn't change them. And playing the tracks in Logic, and then eventually I got the brilliant idea. I should start using the iPad, because I got this iPad and I had an interface and stuff. I should take some of the load off the computer because it's broadcasting the video. I should move over to doing the music on the iPad, and then I can get in and I can add effects to my vocals and stuff. So I started doing that a little bit. I got a green screen, which I don't even use anymore because I got this fancy set. Although you can see that I use my iPad for the screen, and it's for whatever reason, VLC player has rebooted. So now you're just looking at the iPad.
Shit. Is that an iPad?
Yeah, that's my old iPad Pro, because I got the new one over here, the new with the M2 chip.
I thought that was like a TV. I thought that was a monitor.
Well, it is a monitor, but it's
but it's because right.
Yeah. It's just a flat screen television set with connected with the HDMI to the iPad.
I'm like, that's a really big iPad.
No, they don't make them that big.
What is wrong with me? It wasn't you. It wasn't. It was you. Was it you, Rock, where you did all the intros where you went, "Hello, Thomas Christ here. Welcome to what?"
Yeah, I just can't remember which episode that was.
I've got to find it.
I'm gonna say 100, maybe.
Yeah, I'm going to find it. Because what I've noticed with your live streams too, with the live performances, is the quality of the vocals and stuff. Like you know, it's just got better and better. And then as soon as you started adding effects to the live streams, so much better, so much more work.
Yes.
But the finished product, it just comes out so much better. And I really noticed it. I forget what app it is that you use for your effects.
It's Tone Stack Pro.
Tone Stack Pro, which is a guitar app, pretty much.
It's marketed as a guitar app, but I'll tell you what, if you use it on vocals, it works real well.
Yeah. And it's a thing, you know, as you go on doing this, your production values hopefully do go up. For anybody who is live streaming, like, here's the thing, well, and get your opinion on this too. Start off with what you've got, yeah? Absolutely start off with a bare minimum. But do it in a way that you want to grow it and get it better. And you don't have to like have these massive, you know, shock jumps where all of a sudden, you know, you're streaming and it's just you in front of like a towel behind you. And then the next episode, you've got like fancy lights. It's too much for people to comprehend. Gradually building up and you know, getting things a little bit better. It's a really good evolution. And I think when people get instant change like that, it can be really shocking and jarring, and you know, I really love just slowly gradually changing things, and I did that with my studio. Started out with the worst stuff, and now I have too much stuff.
Yeah. So, well, I'll tell you the biggest change that I made, and I didn't really expect it. I really didn't expect it, and for a long time I was skeptical. I was like, because you have the soft boxes and Pete had the soft boxes. I was like, yeah, I got this. It's like one of those things you put in the corner of your room, and it's got like 3 lights on it, and you can aim them different directions. And I thought, yeah, that's good enough. It works, technically. I didn't think the soft boxes were gonna make the difference. Was literally night and day. Literally night and day. I was like, holy shit, that's how you get the pro look. That's it.
Yeah.
You got to get the soft boxes if you get nothing else.
Yeah, they change, and they're only $60, like, well, Australian anyway. Yeah. So, but heaps cheaper in the US. Like the soft boxes are nuts. And the light bulbs in them, they're like this big. But
that's the thing. I don't know what I'm gonna do when these things. Eventually, I assume they'll probably burn out.
eBay,
and
they're cheap, man.
I gotta find the ones that would go with this.
Oh, they're all the same. They're all the same. Yeah, it's universal. Yeah, they're all the same. They're like about, I don't know, $14 each Australian. They're probably cheaper for you, and you just buy them in bulk. If you buy them in bulk, just get 6 of them, then you'll never have to worry about it again. Because yeah, I think I did a show once where mine had blown just before the show started, and I had to sit in like half darkness on my face, which was kind of cool. It was a spooky, ooky look. I found this video. It was Thomas Christ Live, episode 100. I need to play this. Let's put us both in the corner. This is such a favorite video of mine. Let's do it. Look at you there. God damn. It's eventually going to start, guys. We'd love
eventually.
Give it a forward.
Stream to see what we can do on here. What's up, everybody? How's it going?
There's the green.
What's up, everybody? That sounds on my phone. That's probably not good. Hey, everybody. Good evening. Welcome to Thomas Christ Live's, the 3rd edition of this show. What's up, everybody? Welcome to the live stream. Virus Infect release party. You can see it up there. Didn't even point in the wrong direction. What's up, everybody? Let's get this thing started. Hey, welcome to this. Happy Halloween, everyone. I am Thomas Christ, and this is Thomas Christ Live. I see we have some people here in the chat. What's up, everybody? I'm Thomas Christ. What's up, everybody? How you doing tonight? What's up, everybody? This is Thomas Christ. Thomas Christ Live. I am Thomas Christ. How are you doing tonight?
I love how many times you say it.
Here. What's up, everybody? Hope you're doing well out there.
What is that? Hang on a minute.
Tell you that.
Hang on a minute. What is that on your head?
Santa hat.
It's a Santa hat. I thought it was like a French beret or something. I couldn't see the red.
It doesn't look very ill prepared this evening. That's right, I'm back. Been gone like a week. I'm back. What's up, everybody? How you doing tonight? We got some people in the house. This is Thomas Christ, of course. Thomas Christ Live. Yeah. He's finally gone. All right. Yeah, I got to tell you what happened just before I started this show. Oh, my goodness. Everything. There almost wasn't a show.
Hey.
How's everybody doing? We got a lot of folks in the house tonight.
That
What's
sounds
up,
familiar.
Everybody?
Yeah.
This is Thomas Christ Live.
Look at those glasses. They had the John Lennon
This is
glasses
Thomas Christ
there.
Live. How are you all doing tonight? What's up, everybody? This is Thomas Christ Live, and I am Thomas Christ. This is Thomas Christ Live, and I'm Thomas Christ. What's up, everybody? We got the reverb on. Hey, it's Thomas Christ, and I'm your Thomas Christ guy for Thomas Christ Live. That was Virus Infect. It's been about
Colin.
a year
How have you been, guys?
since we've been dealing with this little thing called the virus.
So there you go, folks. There he is. Go back and watch episode 100 and see more.
That goes on a little while.
There's 100 of those. There's 99 of them.
You have no idea. You have no idea. I remember how difficult that was to edit that together.
Yeah, I remember thinking that, going, God, man, I would have lost my shit and punched the screen if I had to do that.
I remember it took 4 hours to edit that.
Fuck. That's
And I think
crazy.
I was doing it because you know me, I a procrastinator. Wait till the last minute. So I'm doing it right before the show. Like a couple hours before the show, I'm like trying to edit this together. I was like, I got this cool idea. I should do it. So,
But all right, so that's interesting. But are you a procrastinator, Thomas?
um, yes, yes. Ask my wife.
Is it
She were here. She would vouch.
is it
She's probably yelling.
is it crippling? Is it something that like I am too, right? Well, I say I am, but I'm not because there's always something else that I prioritize these days over making music, which sucks. And I wish I could change it, but this is all consuming, and so it's not that I'm procrastinating. It's like when I put so much into this that when I need a break, you have to have that time away. So I don't look at it as procrastinating, even though I'm just sitting down watching television, because you've got to have those things to have balance. So, but does it affect you? Is it a crippling kind of procrastination where you like it fucks you up and puts you behind all the time?
I don't know that I would call it. I don't know that I would call it crippling because what happens with me is I usually get there, but I always wait. I say like, oh, I got another day. I got another couple hours. I don't have to do that yet. And then I do it, but I usually do it with just enough time to like just get there. I don't leave a lot of room for error though, so that's why if things go wrong, it's like, well, shit. But yeah, I wouldn't call it crippling. My wife might call it crippling. Because she's the type of person, and I need this type of person in my life, which is probably why we're great together, because she's super organized and she does things well in advance. And I'm always like, why are we even thinking about this right now? That's not till next week. But she's got to have, she's got the type of personality, like type A, has to be done right now.
Yeah.
And I'm more like, we got time. So we find a balance somewhere in between those two things.
What about like writing music? Because I like the time pressure of stuff. Like for the charity album, I started writing that song right when the charity album was announced, and then it got right down to I was the last person to get the song in. I got the song in only, I think, on the day that Russ was uploading it to BandCamp. I think he'd already uploaded nearly all the songs. But that time, I do feed off that. I find myself like knowing that I've got to get this done in the last minute now, and it sometimes drives me to create probably the best stuff I do. What about you?
Well, I think there's no more vivid an illustration than I got the two songs that I've really like. I've been working on this album for or since the middle of the early beginning of the summer. Now I've had a lot of other stuff going on in my life that's kind of restricted my time, and I've not been able to focus as much time on that as I would like. But the two things that I got done was the song for Russ's album and the song Timber Song, which was Death Toll that you heard at the beginning of the show. So I think definitely time pressure works for me.
Yeah,
But I probably need to just impose that on myself instead of.
Yeah, some people it doesn't work for at all, and they've got to have it done straight away. And again, there's no correct way to do it. I was talking with Ed Zielinski yesterday on Clubhouse about all these YouTube channels that sit there and tell you how to master stuff and how to do this and how to EQ, and they're all great, right? But
Yeah.
There's not enough of them teaching you about time pressure and about go do other things if you're struggling to mix something or it's not sounding, because you can know all this shit. You can watch all these gurus and learn all these tricks and stuff, but it doesn't teach you how to write a fucking good song from the heart, and how to like work with pressure and how to just the real life stuff. So if you're just watching all those videos, try and get some other input, because it's not going to help you out.
Well, and that's the value of what you do, of what Pete does, because you both take time to discuss those kind of things. You've done it many, many times on this channel. You used to do the whole like Wort series where you would talk about some of the mental health stuff that people deal with in this creative process. And you've done that with it's to some extent with this Walk With Me series that you've done. Pete's been doing it. I mean, he's been very consistent about dealing with that aspect of things, with the mental blocks that we go through to creating, and some of the challenges that we face in our own heads, which is super important to recognize. And so if you're not getting that on these other channels, then come to Jade and come to Pete, because that's where you're going to find it.
Yep, we'll get into your head and mess with your head over here and talk about
tinker around a little bit. But,
yeah, what's this? Oh, it's gooey. Oh, do you need that bit? Throw that away. You come to us. We'll give you a free frontal lobotomy. That's what we do here on the channel. And my lead surgeon is the Mix Club and Ron Ward. There he is. There's Ron Ward.
Yeah, Ron.
Could you imagine that, going into surgery and they say, here's your doctors for today before they put you under, and Ron Ward's standing there with a wig on, with a headband, and Rhett's behind him.
Well, hopefully if Rhett's there, he's not writing up the charts, because he'll misspell. He'll get it right, but it's all, you have to decipher it a little bit. I look in the chat, I'm like, dude, you're all right, right? We're good here. Because he's just typing in random letters and stuff. But I look at it for a while, and it's kind of like one of those ink blot things, and then eventually, like, it makes sense.
Oh, sorry, Rhett.
We love you, Rhett.
We do love you. We love you too, Ron. Oh my goodness. Let me say hello to a few people who've kind of snuck in while we're doing this. Leanie, hi Daniel, Ron, and Rhett, of course. Oh God, that's funny, man. An ink blot. Semtex Cow, I see you. I saw Michael here as well too. Thanks for joining us, Michael. I'm trying to find anyone I've missed. Abe the Band, what's going on? All right, let's play a song. And then I have to come back and I've got to do my little work for DistroKid, because they work so hard for me. Let's do that. Frank Turzo, how can I miss Frank Turzo? You recently did a song. You jumped on the bandwagon and did the Frank Turzo song. How was that experience before we play this track I'm going to play?
Oh, it was wonderful, because I talked about it a little bit last night. Like, I've been like, this album that I've been working on now, Perfect Hell, has literally been that, and
right.
It's been, it's a heavy burden, and it's a difficult album to kind of like come to grips with, and what it's even supposed to be. And so it was good, and I've been having trouble coming up with things to work on. So it was good to just take a song. It's already a fantastic song, and just see what I can do with it. And when you have great source material, you're going to get something great out at the end. So I'm very happy with how that turned out. It was awesome to do it, and much love to Frank for putting that out there. He's inspired this whole community with that track, and everybody's done a magnificent thing. And you kind of see, when you listen to each version that everybody's done, you kind of see like what they're all about. It's literally like reflects the creator in a brilliant way.
Yeah, look, what can be said about Frank that hasn't already? Like, he encapsulates his community. I look at him like, and now Dom gets called the Dom father, but to me, Frank's the dad, man. He's
the conscience of the community.
Yeah, he is. He absolutely is, and he writes amazing songs, and he's just so giving and kind, and he's an amazing artist. And I still have his stems. I don't know if I'm going to release something. Again, time. I wish I had all the time. Every time I look at it, I go, oh, I could do that right now. But then I've got all those thumbnails to do, and all those emails to reply to, and all those comments I haven't replied to in like 2 weeks. Yeah. Let's play this. And this is the Bossa Nova Button. Thomas, what the hell is going on? What is this song?
This is the result of folk experimentation, back in years ago. I don't know when it was, 2006 or 7. And I would just hit record and I'd mess around, and this thing came out where I'm like, let's play the glockenspiel on this cheap little keyboard. And I said, let's press the bossa nova button. That'll be great. And this song just kind of like came out, and literally I pushed the bossa nova button and this was what came out. And then I kind of realized, like, I got to make something out of this. So I made it into an actual song, and it was part of my Song Timber project in back a couple of years ago. What was that, last year?
This album cover, man. I remember you making this album cover. Like, what?
Well, I owe a lot to Gortium85 on that. He came up with we had ideas from the chat, and we got that.
You know what it reminds me of? How we've got Holy Moly, it's folking, mate. It reminds me of a K-Tel album for some reason. Just anyway, let's play it. Holy moly, folk you. This is the bossa nova button. Are you ready? Yeah, the weasel, man. It just, why is it on fire?
Yeah.
It's so good. All right, let's play it. I'll go full screen. We'll be back, and then I'll tell you a little. Yeah, K-Tel. Does anybody else remember K-Tel? God, what a great company. I think they're back, actually. Anyway, I'm losing the plot, as always. This is Bossa Nova Button. Let's do it. Let's oge.
I push the bossa nova button. is what came out. I pushed the bossa nova button, and this is what came out. I pushed the bossa nova button, and this is what came out. I pushed the bossa nova button, and this is what came out. Give me a bowl of maraschino cherries. Give me a bowl of maraschino cherries. Give me a bowl of maraschino cherries, and I will eat them all. Bossa Nova is the boss. Yep.
Bossa Nova is the boss.
Oh man, it's interesting because I remember when I first met you and started listening to your music, and I was like, wow, this guy's super, like, fuck man, he's so angsty. Like, look at those videos of you as a kid I've seen playing like at your school, and you're just so punk, man, and so. And now we come to last year and the Bossa Nova button.
Yeah. Well, I mean, to be fair, this was really from like 2006, 2007. So
Right. Okay. So it's been around a while. And what you wrote there during it, this is your most requested song. It's always the way, isn't it?
Yeah, no, when I used to do request shows on Thomas Christ Live, and for whatever reason, this song, like, everybody was always like, "Oh, play Bossa Nova button, play Bossa Nova button." So I threw that in for all of you because I knew everybody'd probably want to hear that one.
We always used to want you to play E.T. Phone Home.
It was a tough toss up between those both kind of came out of the same time period and stuff.
Yeah.
But I thought Bossa Nova button is a little spicier.
Let's go over and do a word from our sponsor. Thomas is probably going to help me out here because oh shoot! Before I do that, give me a second here because Pookie's gifted 10 memberships. Thank you, Pookie, as always. Love you lots. And I saw some super chats come through. Frank Terzo, thank you. Kubrick Lover, thank you. And it was Leanie, lovely Leanie. Thank you so much for the kind donations. You guys rock. And now we're going to go over and have a word from our sponsors. And I'll keep Thomas in on this one because we're going to have a little bit of fun. Now, I did kind of steal this from Pete Johns yesterday. Let me go over here because DistroKid is our sponsor. And everybody knows that I am in a relationship with DistroKid. It's a sexual relationship. It's sensual. It's hot. It's steamy. And I love it because they allow me to release my music really easy. Even like for the I think the last time we did a sponsor show was for the Music for Life release, and I released my song on that show. I uploaded it, show you how to do, how easy it was. Can you believe that song was out on Apple Music in 5 hours? Well, it's just amazing how quick they can get their stuff out. So 3 plans you can choose from. The simple one, the most basic one that's just going to get you easy rocking and rolling is the $22.99 a year subscription. If you use my code, which is up the top there currently, it's all over the place. It's in the description. You'll see it everywhere. distrokid.com/JadeStar/VIP. No, Thomas. Good. No, don't link it. See, we've got to make sure Thomas doesn't link it today. But you'll get 7% off your first year if you sign up with me, and it helps. It tells DistroKid too, if you use my code, that you found me and you like me, and they might keep sponsoring me and that kind of stuff. But today we're going to show you one of the features which comes with being a musician. So this is cool. Now, when you release a song, we'll go over to my releases here, and we'll go to The Fight, my latest release. And you click on your track. Here's the page you get to see, and it tells you if it's all good and all the images gone up, splits. It tells you all the information, all this kind of stuff. But you'll see just over here, there's a little section that says plain lyrics or synced lyrics? Well, I want to put my lyrics in because you can add your lyrics. So I'm going to click on this link here. And normally you would have to go and like go to a notepad and get your lyrics and copy and paste them in. Not anymore. Not anymore, because DistroKid has added this new feature here saying, see this fun thing, see if I can guess your lyrics. And it's like, really? Well, I like a challenge. DistroKid, we're going to give DistroKid a chance first and do something easy with my with this new song, because I think the lyrics are pretty clear. And I'm going to hit the button, and it's now it's listening to the track. And it's I think it's Dave. I guess they use Dave. That's the name they use for their AI thing on another part of DistroKid. And it's done. And look at this. It's populated with the lyrics. And we're going to see how close it is. So it's a little bit out the first. So the first word is out, down. Down and out and always feeling tired. Holding on to every single breath. Waiting for an answer to a question. Here we go. Unanswered. So we can fix this. Let's go over here. So, but this is much easier. So, a question unanswered. I'm going to try FMC next.
Wonder if it knows all those words.
I know I'm a fighter. I'll keep fighting till the end. I'll always be a fighter. There's so much to defend. Got that bit right. I know it's just another day. Don't let a moment go to waste. I feel it every single day. The fight goes on and on. Nailed. Feeling like there's no hope for tomorrow. The silent. It's actually the silent, so we can fix that. I understand how that could get confused. The silent enemy in my head, waiting for a miracle to happen like magic to overcome the impending dread. I know I'm a fighter. Done. And, thanks for watching. What? Where did I get that from? Thanks for watching. Okay. I have no idea where that came from. There we go. So there are my lyrics. They are done. Very, very easy, and it's a very cool feature that they've added in here. But this is new, so pay attention to this. I have not seen this before. So now it says, choose where you want your lyrics to appear. So for free, you can get them on Apple Music, Google, YouTube, Amazon, Deezer, and Shazam. But they've added this new thing, Lyric Blaster. Looks like Spotify. Now, we all know how Spotify's like. We don't need to talk about Spotify, do we? Because they're mean. But it looks like they've signed up with this vocal company, Music Match. And so now if you want to get your lyrics on there, you've got to pay for it. And it looks like it's per artist. So, yeah. Well done, Spotify. They're really not making any friends at the moment, are they? And all I have to do, I have to hit the agreement, yes, and done, and those lyrics are saved. And look, it's going to ask me if I want to do more. Let's just quickly, because you guys know I have a death metal band. Shall we see what we get? I think I've got lyrics. Have I got any lyrics that haven't been entered for FMC? Let's see. Hunger's done. All those are done. Human Centipede Conga Line's done. Damn. Surprise Chef's done. Awful Taste of Human... Oh, God, they're all done. What about... look, I'm actually really good. I've got all my lyrics done. That's pretty... All right, so I'm efficient. That's what we proved there. Yeah. All right. I don't get to try that today. I would have loved to have seen it try and do colostomy bag. I wonder if we can try it anyway. Should I just go in? What I can do, we'll just go in and I'll cut this out and then we'll try it. All right, let's give it a go because we have to give it a go. Here we go. See if we can work out FMC, what's it called? Community colostomy bag.
It's a good test.
It's a good test. Because it's all
Let's see how broad its vocabulary is.
Yeah. Oh, God. Sorry, we're unable to detect enough lyrics. All right, so if you're in a death metal band, it may not work. All right, just so you know, death metal bands maybe not. But what a great feature! If you're not in a death metal band, that's fantastic. Thomas, what's your experience been using DistroKid? You've been using DistroKid for ages.
Yeah, and no, it's always been a great experience for the most part. Toughest part is, and I wonder, I hope maybe this AI thing will address it. It's getting the lyrics in the right format. Because some of the stores are really specific about how the format. So I wonder if you do the AI thing, if it's just automatically going to be the way they want it.
Well, I would hope so. I saw when Pete did a video on it, he had to put in a few apostrophes and stuff just to make sure it's fine. But yeah, look, that is the thing with filling in details, because if you guys probably don't know this. We'll wrap this up and say, do my usual. Thank you, DistroKid, for sponsoring. The code, the link's up there. Please support and sign up with my link. And of course, I love you, DistroKid. I have a feeling I'm going to lose my sponsorship for that one day. But, until then, the relationship stays sexy. All right. But a lot of people don't realize there is a style guide that comes with Spotify and Apple Music. Have you ever read the style guide, Thomas?
I'm sure I glanced over it at some point. That's interesting.
Yeah, it's a read. Let me tell you. So, for those of you who don't know, you can go to Apple or you can go to Spotify and you can read their style guide. It's this huge document on what you can and can't do when you release music, like with titles, with brackets around things, or commas and just capitalization, all this stuff. And man, it is so. Ooh, I feel like I'm in the Third Reich when I'm reading it. It's so full on. They really have a. Well, I used to work for Apple. I know what it's like. It's an interesting company.
Yeah.
It is like being in a cult. I worked there for a period of time, and it was like working in a cult. All right, let's move on and talk about the way your music has progressed since I last had you on the show. So that was season 3. It would have been like, when did I have you on? Probably 2021. I'm thinking, if it was 140, or it may not. Probably.
I thought it was December 2020.
It was December 2020. What do you think? How has your music changed from back then? Are you writing about different stuff back then? Because back then, it was all very pandemic stuff that was going on. Let's start with your lyrics first. What have you been writing about since then and over the last few years?
Well, I think so. When I was on the show before, that was after Virus Infect came out, so that was all about 2020, which at the time it was on everybody's mind. It would seem like the thing to write about. In retrospect, like, I feel weird performing those songs now because it's just like I don't know that that's the time all of us, even though some of us have had positive experiences with that time, but there's a lot of negativity too. And I don't think we necessarily always want to go back and remember the good old days of the pandemic. So the inconvenience. So the next album that I did after that, I tried to challenge myself a little bit and do something that I've never done before, which was to write an album that is primarily like more positive. And it was about the journey of being a creator. It was called The Creator. And I think when I did that show, I had Right About Now had just come out. I think that might have been played on the show. And that album was very, very positive for what I usually, because I usually focus on the dark stuff. I think there's a lot of people that focus on the lighter side of human existence. So I kind of tend to like to shine a light on all of it, but kind of focusing more on some of the darker aspects of it. It just fits the industrial kind of mood and spirit of what I do. So I went outside of my comfort zone a little bit with that one. But then, as things kind of evolved and changed from there, and I did feel outside of my comfort zone, and things were just getting so dark in the world that I kind of had to go back to my roots a little bit with future music for a futureless world, which was kind of like, this very, very bleak look at society and um the way things that were kind of going at that time.
Some
And
great titles on this album.
yeah.
Do you think this album to me seems like you're focusing a lot on stupidity?
Yes. Yeah. Well, there's a lot out there to shine a light on.
Yeah.
So I think that's kind of where I was headed with that one. And you got the people with the anti-vax stuff. You got the people with the the Supreme Court taking away abortion rights, even though nobody wants that. And it's just kind of like this whole thing of there is this whole element of like everything being forced on us, and the powerful doing things that that we don't want, and they've set it up, even though like at the time like the Democrats were in charge, but we had a very right-wing Supreme Court, and so they're just doing whatever, and they're still doing it today, whatever the hell they want. They don't care what public opinion is, what popular opinion is, and it feels like we're helpless and out of control.
Yeah. Absolutely. And my take on this kind of stuff. I think both sides are wrong.
I disagree with you on that. I disagree with you wholeheartedly, because one side of it wants people to have healthcare. One side of it wants people
of course,
to
on that
have,
side. I think when I say that, I'm talking about extremism.
Yeah.
Because
I don't know.
There's extremists on both sides, and which
I
think they're different. They cause different things. The extremists on one side can be really horrible, and the extremists on the other side are super cringe.
I think it's more like it's the people in the center that are in charge of things, that are afraid to, and they're, first of all, there's a lot of corporate control over the people that are making decisions. A lot of money goes into those people, and to do the things that they want them to do, not the things that if you look at polls, even if people that are ostensibly on the right, they support raising the minimum wage, they support putting sensible restrictions on guns and background checks and stuff. But you got groups like the NRA, you got all these really powerful corporations that are donating money to these politicians to do their bidding, and that's kind of why we end up where we are.
Yeah, absolutely. It is. It's pandering to the corporations. It is what it is, and. For me, I just think it's all going to come to a head eventually. When will it take, Thomas, for us all just to come together when we just can't afford to eat or pay rent anymore? Like, is that going to be the catalyst that makes us all go, I don't care who you have sex with, I don't care what your gender is, I don't care what your race is, I can't afford to eat, I can't afford to live. Like, is that going to be the catalyst that tips us over and says, you know what, no more, just no more?
I would like to think so, but there's this battle that's going on right now, and it's like some people that really believe in the free market as a solution to all of our problems, but the free market is the thing that's creating all the problems.
Yeah.
They're the ones. So the government is broken because of capitalism.
Yeah.
So if we can get rid of capitalism or put strict restraints on it and make the government listen to us and not them, then they'll do what we want. But the question is, will it go that way, or will it go to the other extreme? And if you look around the world, the other extreme is doing pretty damn good, because they've got everybody fooled that it's like just cripple the government and let the corporations, let the market have free reign, and that's where you end up with fascism.
Yeah, absolutely. And I know we don't want to head down this path. I mean, it's one of the good things about this community that we have here too, is that I know there are people who are on one side and one on the other. And, I think this is a really good place where we're not at each other over this stuff for the most part. You know, I don't see a lot of it. Where everywhere else I go, I seem to go across YouTube on just even snake breeding channels and stuff. It creeps in and still is a thing where somebody will go like, that you bought that snake and you probably can't look after it. What are you, a Republican? Or and you think, how do you correlate that into like somebody buying a snake? Like, but people are so bent out over it, and it consumes them. And I know we've talked about this at length, Thomas.
Yeah.
And because you live in the US where a lot of this is happening, you know, for them, it's a focus there because the US is a focal point. And I lived there. I remember when I lived there, and my whole life while I lived 2 years in the US, I was so focused on politics while I was there. And I go back through my Facebook page and go, what the fuck was I doing? Every post every day there was like 100 posts on politics while I lived in America. Wow, it's so easy to get consumed by it.
I look around the world and I see, I see like Great Britain and stuff, and their big debate is like, well, we have the national healthcare system. Should we privatize portions of it or not?
Yeah.
And in the United States, it's like, give us healthcare, please.
Yeah.
It's like, no, only if you can pay for it.
I'll tell you, and try not to, we don't want to focus on this stuff too long, but we want to talk about it because this is the stuff me and Thomas and some of us talk about. The most heartbreaking thing I experienced when I lived in the US, nearly every person I met, and let's just throw this out there first. In the US, you may think if you're coming from another country that what you see on YouTube, this polarizing. To me, anyway, this is my experience, that everyone's so polarized and everybody hates each other. I expected that when I got there, and I just didn't experience it. It seems like a lot of the time it's more focused centrally online and that kind of space. And, you've got, of course, pockets of protesting and all that kind of stuff. But the one thing that saddened me so much, nearly every single person I met, even without a family, owed so much money in medical bills. So much. Like one of my friends, she had 3 kids, a single mum. She owed nearly $100,000 in medical bills. Like, how do you get out of that? You can't. You're fucked.
I have what would be considered probably like a respectable job. The main job that I do during the day, working for a university. They have an affiliated healthcare provider that we're under, and we have what's considered to be like gold level healthcare. And I go every time I have to go to a different doctor, or if I get sick and I need to be seen, we're getting a bill in the mail for almost $100.
Yeah,
and then that's what's happening to me. Like if you don't have insurance, or if you're underinsured, like I can only imagine the bills that you get in the mail, and the liens put on your house and all kinds of crazy shit. In other countries, it's just like, oh yeah, we get sick, we go to the doctor.
Yeah, man. When I got sick, I feel bad even telling this story. When I got sick, people have heard the story. I was in a bar. I was drinking. The barmaid looks at me. She goes, "You're bleeding from your mouth and nose." I'm like, "What the fuck?" Go into the bathroom. I'm like, Jesus Christ, there's blood everywhere. I jump in an Uber. I go to hospital. I spent 2 months in a hospital. They looked after me. I had my own room with nobody in there. They did multiple surgeries on me, took my spleen out. And then at the end of it, I went, all right. So, and they're just standing there like, bye. I'm like, is there any, do you need any money, or bye, see you later. I just walked out. Was like, did that just happen? I just was 2 months, and this wasn't even in my state. I was in another state working interstate, and this all happened, and I had to jump on a plane and go home after that. But man, that's how it should be. That's what I pay my taxes for. That's what it's all about. And I wish everybody had it. I really wish, man, because I hate seeing people sick. It's not right. It's not right, man. Fucking the worst thing is if you're sick in any way. Just one more thing. My friend that I was living with in the US, she hurt her knee and couldn't afford to go to the doctor, and I physically watched her with a knife cutting into her own knee and sticking her finger into push around, and I'm like, what? This is America. What's going on? You know? Yeah, it saddens me. Exactly. And let's talk while we're on this, because you have been dealing with some incredibly fucked up health issues over the last, couple of years. Tell us what's been going on.
Well, the biggest thing was right after we went into the inconvenience, and I noticed that my foot started to swell up, and I was like, oh, that's probably not good. And then it progressed into, oh shit, my whole leg is like swollen up to like 2 or 3 times its normal size. Like that's probably not good. And this is like it was in the main part of when things were really bad with the virus, and you're like, I, I hesitant to go out, hesitant to go into a facility like a health place or a doctor's office, because you're thinking like, well, I don't want to get the virus though. You know what I mean? So you live with this stuff, and you're like, I don't think it's like life threatening or anything. And then I found out I have this thing called lymphedema, which people usually get. People usually get that like when they have cancer treatments and stuff cause it, and certain types of surgeries and things when it affects your lymph system. But some people just like in their 30s will just develop it. And I was one of those lucky people. I hit the lymphedema sweepstakes, and so I have that, and it ended up being both legs got it, one worse than the other. And it's been, I had to go and get put these wraps put on my legs for like 6 months, and got all that done. And it's amazing how that simple thing, it's not medication, it's not a surgery or anything. It's just putting these bandages around your leg, and it reduces the size of it. And then you need these stockings to like just hold it so that it doesn't blow up again. So I've been dealing with that. I've had issues with pain in my stomach, and nobody can figure out what that's all about. I had elevated liver enzymes. Found out I had fatty liver, which I think I already knew about that, but I don't know if that's what was causing the whole thing. So this is still ongoing, like trying to figure all this stuff out. Had sleep study done, and I gotta follow up with that one. Yeah, it's been a lot of stuff. And then I've been kind of like losing my voice a bit too, and that's definitely not good when you're a musician to lose your voice, especially if you like to sing. So been trying to figure out what's happening with that too. And so yeah, there's been a lot of stuff going on.
Yeah, and it doesn't help when you're trying to like put together each week a list of songs and everything, and get to everybody and work at the same time, because you hold down a job as well on top of doing all this. I don't know if people realize all of that as well.
Yeah, no, I work. So I have one nice thing is that I have I'm only seasonal, so I work from like September through June. Or no, October through June. And then I have 3 months off in the summer. But I have another job that I do, and I consider now YouTube one of my jobs, because I am on, I'm on the partner program at least partially, and I've started a Patreon, so I'm gonna have to, deal with taxes and stuff like I'm a business, so I might as well look at that as like a third job, or 2.5, whatever you want to call it.
Yay. Seasonal Thomas, I like it.
Yeah.
Delicious. I'm going to play a song. Speaking of, because we got off on a little bit of a rant, and sometimes we do that. This is what happens on this show, and I like that we can go down these paths. And I think it's fitting that we play this song. This is called Slave to Humanity. And it seems like it fits the right time. We've got, and we'll come back and talk more. So I'm not going to cut you off there with all your health and stuff. We're going to come back and talk a little bit more about that. Thank you all for being here, everybody. I see you all. Even those who aren't typing in the chat, I can see one of them because she's sending me messages on Messenger. You know who you are. And I see you too. All right, let's play this. This is Slave to Humanity. Are you ready, guys? Boom. Let's do it right. Slave to Humanity 2022 remake. I'm pretty sure that is. I'm going to bounce over here to, while we're on Bandcamp, because I joke at the start of the show and said Thomas has like 2,950 albums out, but it's a running joke we have here. But over on his Bandcamp here, there's a lot of albums. Is there 18?
No, they're not all up there.
Oh, they're not all. Of course, they're not all up there.
I have some stuff on. Actually, it was funny when you had Sounds and Shadows on, and I was so blown away. She had a sound click because I have a sound click. It's just soundclick.com/Thomas Christ.
Oh,
and it's got some of my older stuff on there. Still, some of it is not on there. I originally had stuff on. If you remember mp3.com.
Yes, of course.
Missed that site. There's some weird stuff on there.
Do you know, Thomas, I still have, remember they used to pay you, right? I still have my first check that I got from them for FMC. 1 cent.
Oh, no way.
It's framed.
I don't think I made any money on there. I can remember.
1 cent. Can you believe? It encapsulates FMC so well. Like your 1 cent. That's all we're worth. And I've got it framed. It's downstairs. I love it. And for those of you who don't know about mp3.com, that was one of the first places that started paying artists for their music. It was, oh God, those were the days. Here we are at soundclick.com. Oh, wow, you've got 91 songs here. Look at all these. So if you want to get a little bit of secret sauce, now you know the place to go. Look at all this.
That's all. They got all the weird stuff on there. Some of the older stuff.
Got to get some advertising in here as well. What the hell is that?
Yeah. They just randomly throw.
Yeah.
I'm amazed this site still exists. I'm shocked.
Like you can buy stuff on SoundClick as well too.
Now, one thing I will say, if you go there, don't buy any, because there is one album that's on sale. Don't buy it because I have no idea where that money goes. It sure as heck doesn't go to me. I can't even get into it. Probably if I worked on it, I could probably crack the code and figure out how to get back into that.
I love it. So, all right, let's talk about like the way you record music. What's your go-to for recording music these days? Do you have a select DAW, or what is it? Or is it a combination of stuff?
It is a combination of stuff, but primarily FL Studio. For a while, because I switched over to Mac, and I got into initially, came in through GarageBand because I had an iPad, and I was like, oh, this GarageBand thing, let's check this out. That's how I found Pete Johns, and how I found you. And so I started off on that, went over to that MacBook that I mentioned before, started using GarageBand on there, and then found that a bit limiting. So I was like, oh, I'll buy Logic. So I bought Logic. So I did Virus Infect and The Creator were both done in Logic. I think My Inferno was done in Logic, and then I've moved over back to FL Studio because I kind of I wanted to get back to my roots, and that was the whole thing with future music for a futureless world. And so I'm like, I'm just gonna buy like the producer's edition of FL Studio, and then I ended up like a few months later I bought the whole, it's the all plugins edition, and so I got that rocking now. And it just works the way my mind works because it's all pattern based.
Mm-hmm.
By the way, don't mess around with the iOS version of FL Studio because it's junk. It's not that good.
It is poo. Yeah, they dropped the ball big time with that. Yeah, I used to use Fruity Loops for a little bit, or FL Studio, Fruity Loops. Oh, showing my age.
When I started, to show my age, when I started using it, it was Fruity Loops, and then at some point it became FL Studio and sounded a little more dignified.
I still like Fruity Loops more. It is what it is, Yeah,
I think a lot of people still call it that too.
Yeah. You can always tell somebody's age. Hi, Many Vibes. I see you. Hello. So that's what you're using gear wise. I'm going to jump ahead. We're going to talk about your YouTube channel. Well, we're not jumping ahead. We're coming back to the YouTube channel. So you got monetized recently.
Yeah.
And how's that been? How's the experience been now that you are with us? You're employed by Google, the alphabet. You have to
Alphabet Inc.
you have to bow down to their every whim. And tell us your experience with the first time you're like, have you been paid anything yet?
Yeah.
I'm not asking what or how much, but how hard was it? Because I remember the first time I actually got monetized and got paid. It took 3.5 months.
Yeah, that was almost exactly what it was for me. Because people don't know. I don't think people really understand how that works.
Mm-hmm.
And there's a certain threshold that you have to meet, and that's after Google takes its cut, after they take out taxes. I think there's a certain amount of money, and you have to hit that amount of money. For in the United States, at least, it's $100. And you may think, well, $100, if you get a bunch of super chats and stuff, but don't forget they're taking like 45, 50, whatever the percentage is that YouTube takes.
30.
And it's a pretty big 30. Okay.
Yeah.
But it's a pretty big chunk. So just because somebody gives you $100, that doesn't mean that you're gonna get paid. So you have to meet these certain thresholds, and it renews kind of each month, but it carries over. So if you don't make the threshold in a given month, then it'll roll over to the next month, and then hopefully you'll get enough to get a payment. But if especially the way that things are for me, because I'm a smaller channel, I get super chats and stuff kind of infrequently, in spurts and fits and spurts and stuff. But and I don't get ad revenue because I'm not at 1,000 subscribers yet. So if you're not subscribed to youtube.com/Thomas Christ, get over there and subscribe right now. But without the ad revenue, with only getting, like, you got the memberships and the super chats, and I did finally I got a super thanks to me, myself, and iPhone. Thank you very much.
They're fun ones, those ones. Yeah.
Yeah.
The worst thing is when you, because you mentioned the threshold, it's a real thing, folks, the threshold. So I remember I'd been when I first got monetized, and I'd been like 3 months, and I was like, oh my God, this month is going to be the month I'm going to get over $100. I'm going to get over $100. And I swear to God, it got to, because I'm ahead here in Australia and it goes by the US time. I'm like, all right, so it's past the 31st. It's now the 1st here, so I still technically got 1 day to get in. I'm gonna make it, and I didn't make it, and so it closed off at $99.96. And I'm just sitting here,
that's killer.
fucking, so angry, and that happened about 3 times. In the early days, it's very frustrating, and you want to message Google and say, can't you just add those 4 cents in just to pay me?
Yeah.
That's why I stopped doing Twitch. Twitch was really hard for monetization.
I don't even know how that worked. I tried multi-streaming to Twitch for a little while, and nobody was watching over there, and I think you just have to really, it's a different environment.
It's a lot harder, yeah.
To be honest, I think you got to get into video games a little bit to get in over there, even if that's not your main thing. Everybody on Twitch, like, it seems like even if they do politics, even if they do music or whatever they do, they always do a little bit of video games, because that's kind of like the scene over there. And I don't play video games. So.
It's a very small percentage of Twitch that are sitting at the top, and anyone slightly under that, like 3%, is just making nothing, really struggling. It's a hard learning curve over there. I still have the channel. I ditched it, but I just can't be bothered working. And I think the other thing too is, I don't know your opinion. I think personally, focus on one platform. I see a lot of people multi-streaming at the same time, and you've got chats going from like 5 different platforms, and it takes away the ability to personalize your show to the people in one particular chat. And I look back at some of my streams, how you can see some of the chat from Twitch coming into YouTube. and it was a pain in the ass because you can't talk to them. They can't interact, so it's kind of like a pain in the ass, I think.
Yeah, I mean I have seen there's bots that you can get where they bring the comments over into the actual chat from other platforms, but it's still kind of like through a middle thing, you know. And the other thing is too, you're sacrificing, like if you have like, you know, 20 30 people that are watching on Twitch and maybe 200 people are watching on YouTube. Well, that's 20 or 30 people that aren't watching on YouTube.
Yeah,
So
exactly.
it's probably not enough to like really help you on Twitch, and it's parasitizing your views on YouTube. So yeah, I think you got to just pick one or the other, or do separate shows.
Have you considered maybe a hot tub, Thomas?
Oh yeah, I think if I wheeled the hot tub in here and I got in, I think that would do it for me. They're gonna just flock to that.
Serious question. If as a YouTuber, if a company came along to you and offered you a sponsorship, and they were a gambling company, and they said, you do one show a week talking about our online casino and we'll give you $800 for that one show, what would be your thought process through that?
I mean, so many people do it. It's just like, you know, I'm just used to like watching the video. Okay, we got to the little, we got to talk about the Skillshare for a moment.
Yeah.
I'll just skip right over that. I don't know how many people actually sit there and like watch those. Yeah, I'd probably give it a go. Because that's the best way to make money on YouTube, as I understand it. Like, if you get the product placement and you get the, you know, DraftKings,
yeah,
whatever.
It's the way it's
going.
Cool. Like we talked about this on one of the rants. You know, it's such a hard situation we're in, and I know people are in as well. Chad Freeman says, just do it. Why not do it? Ron says, do it. Get that bag, man.
I don't think there's any difference between that and like you got to run that, like the ad break in most of your shows that aren't sponsored.
Well, there's not a lot of people doing that. I was talking to someone from kind of connected to YouTube, and saying, I've decided to start running the ad through my thing. And they were like, oh, really? I don't know too many live streams who are doing that. And how's that working? And I was honest and said, it's actually working really well. Because, you know, one of the problems I was seeing on the live streams with letting that automatically run ads is that people were getting served them at different times, and I'd be talking about something and it might have been one of the bits that someone really needed to hear, and the ad comes in and they miss it. And I just got sick of seeing people getting the ad at a different time. So at least you know that it's coming. And here it is, and I can take a break and have a drink. And then what's really good about it too is going back to your show after the live stream where they want you to place ads into the replay. You already have a marker to put the ad in.
Yeah.
It makes it
you're not saying like, well, this part was kind of boring, I'll just throw it in here.
Yeah, because that doesn't make sense if it just gets served up. So having a spot there where it says, and I'm running the ad now, boof, and you do it, it makes sense on the replay as well. It seems okay like that. Yeah, see, Semtex Cow says in the middle of performances, so it was really jarring for people. Like
I only recently went over to premium. So I kind of know, and that's why I went to premium, because initially it was like, oh, we have like one or two ads skippable at the beginning, and then maybe you'd get one at the end or something, and that's it. And then it started to be like, oh, just randomly in the middle of shows, like ads would pop up, and they unskippable ads, 30-second unskippable ads, you know, 2 15-second unskippable ads. I was like, no, I can't with this anymore.
Yeah, absolutely. I mean, I'm trying to find a sponsor now for Walk With Me.
Mm-hmm.
I know that probably sounds a bit, people are like, well, I don't want an ad in the middle of Walk With Me, but I want to get a sponsorship where it's something, but it's got to make sense, right? To me, it's got to make sense.
The only one I don't want to do is the one about like the men's grooming. You see that one sometimes? let's talk about
the ball
talk
shaver.
about shaving your balls for a minute in the middle of this show.
I know.
But I was watching a really, really great deep dive into all this. Is actually a food YouTuber named Adam Ragusea.
Right. Yeah, I know him.
He does a podcast show, and a while back he did one because he sometimes does them that it's not about food, it's just about some other topic that he wants to talk about. So he talked about YouTube and making money on YouTube, and he's got a deal. He's one that does all these ads. Let's talk about this coffee thing, or usually it's food related, sometimes not. But he's actually got a broker. He's got some guy who sends him, and I don't remember the whole story of how he came in touch with this guy, but this guy got in touch with him, and he's like, I know all the good ads. Oh, Ron,
yeah.
Ron would be great for that. But he's got this guy, and he knows he gets all the good promotions and stuff, and he just sends Adam different things, and he just says yeah, I'll do that one, or no, I won't do that one, and that's pretty much where he makes most of his money. So
yeah, absolutely. And Ron would be perfect for manscaping. I would see that. I would watch the hell out of it. It would be hilarious. So yeah, I've been thinking about Walk With Me, and I'll be honest. I'm not going to tell you who I'm talking with. I'm actually talking to somebody, and it's a really big company. So, and it's to do with food. That's all I'll say, because think about it: walking, eating good, health, fresh food. There you go. I've given away.
I think I know what it is.
Hello, Thomas. You're doing well.
Yeah.
God, but these are the things you kind of got to try and do to bring in, because even being on the ad program myself, it doesn't generate a lot. It really doesn't generate that much. I rely heaps on the community. We both do. So I do hate it when I watch YouTube videos and they do an ad that has nothing to do with what they're about. It's very jarring. It's a skeptic channel and they're talking about flat earth or just something like that. And then it's and by the way, raid Shadow Legends. And it's what? Yeah. Dude, so far away from what you're talking about. So I think it has to make sense in a way. But
I did get someone that emailed me once, and I don't know if it was legit or not, but it was one of these, they wanted me to do promos for one of these tonic, one of these drinks that you know.
What?
The little health things or whatever that, I don't even remember what it was called, but I didn't write back.
See, I would have gone down that rabbit hole just to see where it goes, and then if it was dodgy, just fuck with them for a few days.
Yeah, there's a good chance it was probably a scam anyway.
Yeah, absolutely. That's the other thing too. Once your channel gets starts getting some views, all of a sudden you start getting these messages of hey, I can get your channel all these views. I'm like, no, I don't want to pay for views, loser. Yeah, I'm pretty happy doing it this way. Let's play another song. We've gone a little bit over time today, guys, because we did start late. So there's that. That's why we're running over time. So hopefully you'll hang out. We've got a premiere to close the show. All right. So please hang out for this premiere. We're going to play this one. It's a short one. Have I played this yet? Which one haven't I played? Have I not played? Have I played Engage Reset? No, I haven't. I haven't played that. Played Death Toll. Yeah, all right. This is Engage Reset. Thomas Christ, let's do it. Let's get it done. As I say, let's Oge. I'm pretty sure I didn't play this.
No.
All right, let's go.
You're good. You're good.
I'm good. Professional YouTuber right here. Boom. Christ, Thomas. I clicked the wrong one. Let's go.
I'm staying woke, 'cause if you sleep you die. Getting so tired of the big, big lie. We don't have time for turning back the clock. Building my left arm, I keep it loaded and cocked. 'Cause in this world, so full of hate and pain, you close your eyes, because it drives you insane. They're on the march, striving for total control. They're fueled by fear, emboldened by our apathy. I didn't sign on your dotted line. Punching back now, and not the next time. Got no patience, see how far you get. This game is over, engage, reset. Jokers are wild, and they are running the show. The more they share their thoughts, the less they actually know. Intolerance is bliss, they hate you for who you are. Playing the victim with self-inflicted scars. Selfish and sad, they bottle up all the shame. Never responsible, always someone else to blame. Mangling faith, twisted to fit their own needs. Hungry for power, will we just let them do it again? I didn't sign on your dotted line. Punching back now, and not the next time. Got no patience, see how far you get. This game is over, engage, reset. I didn't sign on your dotted line. Punching back now, and not the next time. Got no patience, see how far you get. This game is over, engage, reset. I didn't sign on your dotted line. Punching back now, and not the next time. Got no patience, see how far you get. This game is over, engage, reset. I didn't sign on your dotted line. Punching back now, and not the next time. Got no patience, see how far you get. This game is over, engage, reset. I didn't sign on your dotted line. Punching back now, and not the next time. Got no patience, see how far you get. This game is over, engage, reset.
Welcome back to How to App on iOS, the most professional show on YouTube.
I was like, as soon as it started, I was like, wait a
Dude,
second.
I clicked
And
it.
then I started blaming myself. I'm like, did I put the wrong link in the? I sent Jade a spreadsheet. I sent Jade a spreadsheet with the songs.
And I was just because I was going to go to the toilet, right? I thought I'll go to the toilet now because I'm sitting here drinking this of this bottle of water. This was frozen when I started this show today. That's how hot it is in this room. And I had to get another bottle of water as well. This one's kind of this one's still got ice in it. This is how hot my studio is during summer. It's putrid. But yeah, I was running to the toilet, and as I was walking away, I could hear it. I'm like, oh no, I've hit the wrong song. So I still haven't gone to the toilet. Damn. But we're in the home straight, folks. We are in the home straight. Some quick fire questions we do now. Where do you see our community going in the next 5 years with this amazing, vibrant YouTube community that we have making music, Thomas?
That's a tough one to answer because if you'd asked me 3 years ago that we would be here today, I would have never guessed that, that would be growing as quickly as we are, and onboarding so many even more and more talented people that are coming in. Like just yesterday, I did and this is just my little rinky dink you rock show. I had 4 new artists, and at least 3 of them were totally new to me. 2 of them I had never heard anywhere else before, and they were amazing. They were amazing.
Yeah.
So, if we can keep doing that, man, sky's the limit in 5 years. And I'd love to see this kind of get a little bit more recognition on a national scale, or some kind of magazine or something. Maybe talk about what's going on with Pete Johns and Jade Starr and all the extended communities here. Um, but there's amazing music and people creating stuff using iOS, to one degree or another, but all producing in their home studios, all kind of just DIY everything. Which it's so punk rock and it's so anti everything that's going on in the corporate music scene. So I'd love to see that, but who knows? We're all on this ride together, and we'll see where it takes us.
Yeah, the natural flow of it is just working by itself. That's what I love about it. There's no imposed rules or anything, and it just does, and that's amazing. As soon as you start like having expectations of where it should go and what, I think that's when it gets stifled, and the ability just to keep flourishing and expanding gets fucked up. Where do you see your channel in the next few years? Is there anything like, are you bubbling anything up? Are you going to stay on the same path of what you're doing, or do you have ideas to take it in new directions or anything like that?
I am someone that and I'm probably more this than I think you are, or even Pete is. I'm very like, once I get started, once I get into a routine, I don't like to break it. And really,
Yeah.
like, you rock Thomas Christ Live, although maybe like the production value has increased, maybe the quality has increased, but overall the show is pretty much the way it was when I started it. And I think that you rock has been a lot of the same way. Maybe I've introduced a new wrinkle here and there, but it's just a wrinkle. Overall the show doesn't change. And I think there's something that people like about routine and ritual and familiarity. And I look at all these really big YouTube shows and the things that I watch outside of the community, and I see people that have just kind of come up with a format, and they may make adjustments, and they may tweak things here and there, but they don't change the basic format of what people like about it. And I think there's staying power in that.
Thomas Christ, if you were on a desert island and you didn't have a soccer ball to get you through each day and nobody was coming to save you, what one album would you want to be with you on that desert island to get you through?
Damn, that's tough. One album. Well, yeah, I'd probably have to go with the Downward Spiral by 9 Inch Nails. I know that's probably super predictable for me, but yeah, I think I gotta go there.
But it doesn't matter what anybody else thinks, because it's what you need to help you get through. That's the thing. There's going to be no one there to judge you and say, because we don't. I actually like the thought of being on a desert island by myself for a little while.
Oh yeah, no, the by myself. I'm a loner. I kind of keep to myself and everything. But the idea of just having to listen to one album the whole time is that's where it stops for me, because I love
Yeah.
this modern thing that we have, and we can go on YouTube Music, we can go on all these different streaming services. We can call up obscure and random and rare. I don't think anything is rare anymore. You used to have to go and crate dive and go to record stores to try to find that, like, oh, that special release that that not many people have and not many stores have. Wow, I just found it, and I'm gonna pay like $50 for this. But now you can just call that stuff up. It's available. Demo versions of songs, anything that's out there. It's pretty much accessible everywhere all the time.
Absolutely. And so I know there's a new album, isn't there, on the way? When can we expect the new Thomas Christ album?
That's the $1 million question. I had really wanted, because I had done an album in 2020, did an album in 2021, did an album in 2022. Really hope 2023 would also bear the same fruit, but I just don't think December 7th, it's about half done, and it's been that way for a little while because I kind of got back to work and I didn't get it done before that, and now it's kind of like it's probably going to be early 2024, sometime in the first quarter before that gets out, but it'll be worth the wait. That's the only thing I can hope. I went back, and some of these songs, they've been done since the middle of the summer. I went back and listened to them just recently, hadn't listened to them in a while, and I was like, wow, these are actually, might be all right.
So that means there's a lot to look forward to, and we're going to cover that now. So firstly, you got a Thomas Christ album possibly coming in 2024 early. The Delicate Giants is releasing 2024 early, and My Dread Circus non-conformist double album is releasing, because behind the scenes, it's at the last stages. I will be mastering very soon. Wow. Very soon. So we will have 3 big albums coming to you in early 2024. So that's exciting. Let me tell you some stuff. Let me do a bit of advertorial stuff here before we sign out for the day and do our thanks and all that kind of stuff. Tomorrow, there is a huge amount of content starting over at Valerie Butt's channel. So I implore you all to head over there, and I'm going to show you what's happening. Valerie has her song club that she's doing usual time, it looks like, but she's only doing an hour show tomorrow because she has a special show after that. So what's that? 6 a.m. Oh, God, now I'm going to have to think of numbers. 6 a.m. So that means that's 11 a.m. Eastern in the US, 2 hours before 9, so that's 7. But then after that, she's doing this, a premiere behind-the-scenes look at her new track with Mr. Smith for Mercy Street. And I had the pleasure of mastering this track. So this is happening tomorrow. It's a documentary on how the song was made. And this goes for 50 minutes, right? So this is happening at midday Eastern. Yeah, that's right, midday Eastern. No, hang on. Get it right. Midday on the West Coast.
Is this right before your show?
Yes, it's an hour before my show.
Yeah, your show's on at 4, so it's probably 3.
Yeah, 3. So 3 on the East, midday on the West Coast, 8 p.m. London time. Goes for 50 minutes, and then that leads into the actual release of Mercy Street. So and this goes for 10 minutes. So this is just before my show. So there's that. That's a banger. That's all happening over there on Valerie's channel. And I'll be there getting up really early for it. It's my day off and I'm working. And then after that, we're heading, hopefully people will come and join me over here. God, there's some weird photos in this. We are going to be taking a look at the new Mariana bass amp, bass synth from Moog Music, which I've been under an NDA, not speak about it for 3 months, and it's finally out, and I'm super excited to show you this app. It is incredible. And then after we do that, yes, folks, it is happening tomorrow, so hopefully you can come and join me. Walk With Me episode, Walk With Me episode 1, season 2 kicks off St. Kilda. I really hope you come along and join me for this. This will be immediately after my Mariana tutorial. And I put a lot of work into this episode. So the way we're doing it now for season 2 is I'm taking you to a whole lot of amazing destinations throughout Melbourne. I'm not featuring an artist. Instead, I'm taking the sights and the sounds of where I am, not the sights, the sounds, and I'm putting them through a specific app and turning those sounds into the soundtrack of the actual video. It took me almost 3 days editing to get this thing done. It's a good one. So hopefully you can come and join me for that. So that's all the things that are happening. And I've got community covers happening this weekend as well. All right. Thomas, is there anything else you would like to say to everybody here in the chat or watching on the replay before we get out of here?
I just want to encourage, if you've never been over to You Rock, come on over. Wednesdays, currently we're at 5 p.m. Eastern for the wintertime. Send a track in, bit.ly/You Rock submit. One of these days, I will get an actual website, so it won't be this janky bit.ly stuff, but for right now it works. They'll take you right to the forum, and then this weekend I'll be doing Thomas Christ live. I don't know at this point in the week what I'm going to be doing because I'm a procrastinator. So Friday night I'll figure out what I'm going to do, and then Saturday I'll do it. That's 6 p.m. Eastern time, and then we'll dump you right over to Jade's community covers and Pete John's, whatever Pete's got going on. It'll be cool. So.
Yeah, I don't know what Pete's doing either yet. So we are going to close today with a premiere. Thomas,
yes,
please do the honors. Tell us about what we're premiering today.
All right, so this is it's probably not technically a premiere because you've already heard the song potentially. It's on the Music for Life charity album. I know I'm not supposed to put links, but I might put the link to this because it's very important that you go buy this album. I'm amazed with what Russ has done and bringing this album together. 44 incredible tracks, mine just one of them. And, all the names from around the community. And if you don't, you should get to know them. So I hope you'll go and buy that. But this is the premiere of I didn't actually do a video for it because time constraints and things, but it's a little bit of a visual component to it. And just something to hopefully get more people over to the album and buying that so that Russ can raise as much money as possible for Teenage Cancer Trust, because this stuff is super important. So that's what you'll be seeing here for the first time.
Absolutely. I'll make sure I put a link to the album down below in the chat. I think I forgot to put it in there for this particular show. All Thomas's links are down, linked in the description. BandCamp, all his million albums, all his SoundCloud, a SoundLink. I'll put his SoundClick in there as well after the show and sort that out as well. So go and support Thomas. Love you, Thomas. Man, I love you so much, Thomas. I as I said in the beginning, if you're not here, I'm naked, so...
And right back at you. Much love, Jade. You and Pete both have done so much for me. It's incredible, and I'm happy to help and happy to continue serving.
Serving. You make it sound so sexual. Anyway, what am I doing? I'm turning into fucking Ron Ward. Jesus. All right, let's play the track. You'll get a dump at the end of the show to the walk tomorrow. So go and set a reminder. Please come and join us at the walk. It's a good rollicking time. This is Misfit from the Music for Life charity album, Volume 2. Are you ready to go? Remember, do the things that make you happy. Mistakes make you better, and we'll all rise together. Thank you all so much in the chat. I love you all so much. Thank you for the super chats and the memberships from Pookie as well. And, of course, to DistroKid up the top, sponsor the show. You can get 7% off. Use the link. Do the thing. And let's... ja.
Confused inside today. Wish everyone and everything would go away. I need some time to think and feel, to figure out what's important, what is real. This darkness hangs above my see a little sunlight beam instead. same as me. I hate it when I feel so low. This gloom has become all that I know. I'm wondering how the pieces fit. Will I ever be a part of it? The birds will always have their sky. They'll never ever know what makes me cry. Even the worms, they get the ground, while I'm misplaced and can't be found. Lost my way in this life, I know, but I refuse to let it show. Where do I fit into your world? When will I find myself exactly where I need to be? Feel like a misfit in society, but there's a million outcasts feeling just the same as me. Just the same as me. People everywhere, yet I'm so alone. Feeling each day like a prince without a throne. This sense of emptiness cut right to the bone. Can't help but wonder if I'll ever find a home. Ever find a home. Where do I fit into your world? When will I find myself exactly where I need to be? Feel like a misfit in society, but there's a million outcasts feeling just the same as me. 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 Just the same as